Lois, it's back!
I heard, Peter. I heard!
Today, we're looking at more discontinued fast food items we want brought back now. See if your favorite fast food menu item was given the boot too soon. Burger King's Cheesy Tots.
Pauline, give me some of your Tots.
No, go find your own.
Burger King seems to like playing on our emotions by bringing some amazing, delicious menu items into this world before taking them away as quickly as they came. That's exactly what they did with the much-beloved Cheesy Tots. Only this time, it was the wrong move because people fought back and hard. If you're unaware of the goodness that are Cheesy Tots, they're pretty straightforward. A bite-sized combination of potato and American cheese coated with crunchy breadcrumbs only to be deep-fried to perfection.
Tater tots? All right!
But for some reason, they disappeared in 2009. Not ready to say goodbye to their favorite Burger King appetizer, people took their rage to social media. They created a lot of buzz around the Cheesy Tots, which in turn put some pressure on the chain to start selling them again. Surprisingly enough, it worked.
Wow, it actually worked.
At least for a little while. Burger King has brought them back a couple of times over the years, but always for a limited amount of time and only in certain locations. The most recent sighting of Cheesy Tots was in Canada back in 2020. They say that when we all pull together, we can move mountains. Well, maybe we can bring Cheesy Tots back along with it. Whataburger's Steak Fajitas.
That's no fajita boy. That's a fajita man.
Okay, with a name like Whataburger, you expect the chain to excel in burgers, and they do, but that's not the only thing they can do. Turns out they also make some pretty mean chicken fajitas. Steak was the star of the tortilla, and Whataburger's steak fajitas were exquisite. In fact, they were so good that some fans thought the chain should be renamed Whata-Fajita, but that was until its legendary steak fajitas were discontinued in the early 2000s.
Where's the steak?
The steak fajitas were almost considered royalty among Whataburger fans, and the announcement of their departure was taken very hard, especially since no real explanation was given. Whataburger tried to cheer up its customers by introducing a chicken fajita instead, with sliced grilled chicken breast layered with roasted poblano and bell peppers and finished off with grilled onion. But it was never truly the same.
I want some steak. I got steak.
With hundreds of locations, mostly across the South and Southwest, Whataburger would probably benefit from reintroducing the steak fajitas. It would be a good change of pace from the good old burger and would give those who have never eaten one a chance to try it. Arby's Sourdough Melts.
I excel at so many things. You've had my sourdough bread.
Arby's is mostly known for their roast beef and has been a favorite spot for grabbing a beefy meal for decades. So it should come as no surprise that they have offered a lot of different delicious meaty options over the years. One special item that had to say goodbye to its spot on the menu back in the early 2000s, not too long after it was introduced, was the sourdough melts. They were absolutely divine and got quite a lot of love during their peak. You could get the roast beef melt, but the real deal was the ham and Swiss melt sandwich.
Ham and cheese.
It consisted of two thick, chewy slices of sourdough bread grilled to a golden brown, containing a generous portion of ham and melted Swiss cheese, blending together perfectly. It also contained some Thousand Island dressing. It was easily one of the most deliciously simple sandwiches the fast food chain had ever served, and yet we had to see it go. However, it is still somewhat possible to get your hands on a melt if you know how to order it, but it won't exactly be the same.
Look the same, not the same thing.
The world was deprived of one of the greatest, meatiest sandwiches, and we really hope that it will end up finding its way back into our lives at some point or another. Jack in the Box's Cheesy Macaroni Bites.
I call it Mac's famous mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese could easily win the title of best comfort food in America. It's cheesy, gooey, and ridiculously tasty. So, of course, when Jack in the Box announced they were releasing some cheesy macaroni bites, people were as excited as ever.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
These bites were basically little triangles filled with Kraft mac and cheese covered in a crunchy tempura-style coating. These fried wedges of macaroni and cheese became an instant menu favorite and gathered quite the fan following. Introduced to Jack in the Box's menu in 2008, the cheesy macaroni bites mostly became popular, yes, because of their great taste, but also thanks to a very odd statement. Jack in the Box claimed that due to their compact triangular shape, the bites were a safer item to eat while driving. While this has never actually been proven, it was all the encouragement people needed to give them a try.
Hey, say no more.
Sadly, though, as much as they became a cult favorite, they didn't get promoted to the permanent menu, and no one has any idea why. Sure, they were a limited-time item, but when something's as good as these, there are always exceptions that can be made. Alas, the cheesy macaroni bites never returned. Taco Bell's Spicy Chicken Burrito.
This burrito is delicious, but it is filling.
Taco Bell is known for experimenting with a lot of different menu items, but they don't usually stay on the menu very long. However, one popular and very delicious item that did seem to make the cut was the Spicy Chicken Burrito. This burrito was made with a flour tortilla and came loaded with rice, spicy shredded chicken, salsa, fiesta sauce, and an addictive creamy jalapeno sauce.
Surprise! Jalapeno.
It had a rather long run on the menu, but after being a part of the Big Bell value menu for over 8 years, the spicy treat was discontinued in 2011, much to its fans' disappointment. The good news is, it is still available at some locations in Canada, so not all hope is lost if you're willing to take a little road trip over the border.
Oh, Canada.
Taco Bell US didn't want to leave its customers hanging, though, so they came up with a replacement item, the shredded chicken burrito. Sure, it was good and had a lot of flavor, but it was missing that extra spicy pep the original 2 sauces brought to the mix. And in any case, even that one ended up being taken off the menu after Taco Bell revamped the menu in 2020 to make room for some new and improved items. Perhaps in their 2021 revamp, they could bring back the spicy chicken burrito. KFC's Double Down.
It's a sandwich with no bread.
When you go to KFC, you don't go in expecting a healthy meal, or any type of nutrients, really. However, you probably wouldn't expect to come across one of the unhealthiest fast food sandwiches in history.
This is gonna get greasy!
Back in 2010, KFC decided to break the barriers of craziness and debuted one of their worst yet best creations ever, the Double Down. KFC still advertised it as a sandwich, but people weren't so sure it could qualify as such. This artery-clogging monstrosity consisted of 2 deep-fried chicken fillets to replace the bread, filled with bacon, cheese, and a luscious special sauce.
I love meat and I always will.
Despite its obvious health hazard properties, it didn't stop diners from loving it, and the Double Down still became an instant success. So much so that in the first few months of its debut, KFC sold close to 10 million sandwiches. Sure, it was a nutritionist's nightmare, but it was also every carnivore's must-try item. It was always supposed to be just a limited-time item, but people loved it so much that it came back more than once. Hopefully, next time the Double Down comes back, it will stay a little longer, and who knows, maybe KFC will even dare to put it on the regular menu. Sonic's Pickle-Os.
Let me get that for you. I can do it. Tiny Terry loves his pickles.
Sonic Drive-In has literally everything you could possibly crave. Burgers, corn dogs, milkshakes, you name it. With so many delicious options, it's hard to believe that there's probably a bunch of menu items you never even got to try. Take the Pickle-Os, for example. Pickle-Os were pickles coated in batter and deep-fried until they were a crispy golden brown.
Extra crispy.
Originally introduced on Sonic's menu back in 1968, Pickle-Os were created as an alternative to French fries or onion rings, and for a while there, they were very successful. Very popular in the southern U.S., these tasty, vinegary little deep-fried pickles were once featured on their regular menu, but had been removed a couple of times. Since they were no longer on the menu, people just assumed that they were discontinued and tried to move on with their lives.
If it's time to move on, it's time to move on.
But let's not forget forget that Sonic still has pickles for their burgers and still own a deep fryer. All you need to do to get some Pickle-Os is ask for them. They're not that hard to make and they still have all of the ingredients, so why not? Of course, having to secretly order Pickle-Os isn't the same as having them on the regular menu, as they should be, but at least there's still a chance to enjoy them. Burger King Cini-Minis.
I smell cinnamon rolls.
In the late 1990s, Burger King decided to bring magic to its menu in the form of little pastries. After teaming up with Pillsbury, Cini-Minis were born and quickly became the one thing everyone was chasing after. These itty-bitty cinnamon buns were meant to be just the heart of the bun, aka the best part of a cinnamon roll, and were perfect for both breakfast and dessert.
Unspool it into my mouth till that card is at 0.
Cini-Minis were served hot with a packet of sweet, melty icing that you could either use for pouring on top or dipping in.
Icing on the cake. Check it out.
These delectable miniature rolls of sugary, gooey tastiness were sadly discontinued for unknown reasons, and the pain is still very real. Obviously, Cini-Mini fans took matters into their own hands and started online petitions demanding the classic rolls to be brought back. As a BK fan favorite, Cini-Minis deserved another chance at winning over hearts, and Burger King decided to bring them back in 2018 for a limited time, and fans went nuts. However, there was a catch. They were only available for delivery orders placed through Grubhub. Today, a lot of people still have very fond memories of Cini-Minis and are just counting down the days when BK will decide to bring them back for good. Wendy's Bacon and Blue Burger.
Take a little swim in the blue cheese. Bon appetit.
You're probably used to eating blue cheese in your Super Bowl dip or as a fancy salad dressing, but have you ever tried to put it on your burger? This sounds like a crazy idea, and yet Wendy's was the first national chain to dare to do it.
I was gonna do that.
Oh, well, I did it first.
What made this unique burger even better was the bacon. Because is it really a complete burger if there's no bacon on it? The Bacon and Blue Burger was released for a limited time at certain participating Wendy's back in 2015. It included artisan crumbled Wisconsin blue cheese, 3 strips of thick-cut applewood smoked bacon, spring mix, and blue cheese herb aioli, and of course, a 100% fresh square beef patty served hot off the grill. To up the fanciness level a bit, the burger was served on Wendy's famous toasted brioche bun. According to the What's Hot in 2015 list, artisan cheese was among the top food trends for 2015, so it would only make sense for Wendy's to create a burger that followed the trend.
Working on my night cheese.
Yes, the Bacon and Blue Burger was fancy and had a lot of fancy ingredients, but it was discontinued for a very simple reason. It was a mess to eat, especially if you were trying to enjoy your meal from the comfort of your car. Regardless, it would sure be a treat to see this beautiful menu option make a comeback on the Wendy's menu one day. McDonald's Szechuan sauce.
I want my McNugget dipping sauce, Szechuan sauce, Morty. That's what's gonna take us all the way to the end, Morty.
When you get the McNuggets at McDonald's, you're offered a whole array of dipping sauces. While you might be satisfied with your good old barbecue or sweet and sour, for a while there was another tasty option you could get, the Szechuan sauce.
It's the best sauce I've ever tasted.
Back in the summer of 1998, McDonald's partnered up with the media empire Disney to promote their new animated film, Mulan. The sauce was created to mimic traditional Chinese Szechuan sauce and had flavors of teriyaki, ginger, and soy. The McD's dipping sauce was such a success. It drove people mad when the chain announced it was being removed from all menus. However, people wouldn't let this one go down without a fight. A Change.org petition was started calling for the re-release of the sauce and was signed by over 45,000 people. Then, in April of 2017, the cartoon Rick and Morty aired an episode praising the discontinued sauce, and the campaign really got a boost and took off from there.
They created a new sauce for the McNuggets called Szechuan sauce, and it's delicious.
McDonald's saw just how much of a good business opportunity this was and said they would re-release their Szechuan sauce for one day only as a promotional tie-in with the show. But McD's only provided limited quantities and only to certain restaurants, so many fans lined up for nothing. McD's Szechuan sauce was released for the 3rd time in February 2018 and hasn't been seen since. Hopefully that will change soon and we'll be able to get our hands on some soon enough. Let us know if there's a fast food you want brought back now. And tap that screen for another great video, hit that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell.